So like the philosophy there is that you get the brains of the framework fully open source for free. You can do whatever you want, and then we also were very deliberate in making sure that the transition from one to the other is very smooth.
Today, we're sitting down with Guilherme Penedo, the co-founder behind Macrodata Labs, the company helping robotics turn into raw physical world data into better training datasets.
So if you think about like all these robotics companies that are spinning up, and it's both, kind of the foundational labs doing this general intelligence research, but also a lot of it is like these smaller companies that are really trying to push robots into the real world straight away. So like they're taking a specific vertical, they're deploying, they're trying to do these things. A lot of work there is like on the data side. Like they have a lot of things going on, but on the data side, which is actually super important, there's still not a lot of good tooling. And these teams, they need to move very fast, need to iterate a lot. And they're currently bottlenecked by a lot of these issues, right? So even things like just how diverse kind of even the formats you have of this data, kind of orchestrating models, even kind of efficiently decoding these videos the videos from the robotics demonstrations in an efficient way. There's a lot of issues there. So what we're doing, and this is also like kind of the first product we're building as well, is called Refiner. It's a library to help you process and iterate on data. So it helps you convert data sets formats. It helps you run efficient pipelines for things like hand tracking, subtask annotations, using reward models, which are things you can use to get better signal for training or for filtering data. And we also help you kind of scale these things efficiently, so you don't have to take care of infrastructure. I think the one kind of common thing about data in ML in general is that it's still regarded as kind of the unsexy part of ML. Like if you ask someone kind of wanting to get in the field, what do you want to do? No one will tell you, I want to work on data. You always want to say, okay, I'll build the fanciest robot. I will make the fastest and furious engine. But then if the data is really the most important thing. But as a consequence, there's not a lot of good infrastructure, good tooling for you to do this very important work. And we saw this at Hugging Face. We saw this for text. So like we built a library there as well. It was called Data Trove. There was kind of, and even though it was never meant to be kind of a product or anything like this, it was just our research outputs, like for the artifacts of the things we would build, the sets we would create. People really were into this. Like there's really no kind of base usable framework you could use, and kind of robotics, is even earlier, right? So there's even less things to go on, and the problem is even worse because things are way more unstructured. So yeah, like it just made sense naturally that like, okay, this is also a thing that is needed for robotics. Yeah, so we're focused on building the best infrastructure, best tooling for this phase, right? So this involves obviously hiring a bunch of people, getting a bunch of compute, so that you can both kind of provide this infrastructure, this compute to people, but also do some research yourselves, right? Because it's, even from our days at Hugging Face, it's really important that you keep trying to push things forward, and it's the best way to stay on top of things. So who knows, maybe, kind of new ways to process data sets and create more value out of the data. I'd say this is probably a first step of maybe a larger kind of mission, just on how can we provide like on this entire life cycle of data and iteration and everything. This kind of a first step is this Refiner framework, and just very focused on how I process my data specifically. But I think long term there's a lot of things, and also a very interesting thing in the field in general is just how everything is open, right? It's like it's very unclear what is the winning recipe for the models, for the data, for everything, what is even the kind of sensors you need to collect things. So like for example, one thing that I would say was very important for us is like just flexibility, making sure that the things we built, like we could have made them maybe a bit more optimized, maybe a bit kind of easier to use, but then we would lose some of the flexibility we think is really important given the stage of where things are, where like you just 1 month you have people using this specific thing, next month, okay, this thing is dead, and now this is the next big thing, and we need to change everything. And like flexibility, being able to iterate fast was also really important for us.